Well, hey, have you been waiting on pins and needles for today's show? Let's break old patterns as we talk acupuncture today on A Bit of Insight with Lisa Mosby. I'm Lisa, your host, and a big fan of acupuncture. I have to tell you, I had a bicycle injury that kinked up my shoulder for about 3 years, and I finally went to acupuncture. I even have pictures of all the needles that I had in my shoulder, so I was so amazed. But I will tell you, the outcome for me is I have full range of motion and all my strength back in that arm. And it was 3 years I couldn't lift my arm over my head after that bike injury. So I am honored to have an amazing guest. Today's guest is a woman on a mission as an acupuncturist and a holistic health practitioner with 15 plus years experience. She supports others in breaking free from deep-seated emotional patterns with the aid of acupuncture, trauma therapy, transformative mindset coaching, and various other holistic healing modalities. At the heart of her work is psychosomatic awareness, helping clients tune in to their bodies and understand their emotional landscapes to cultivate radical self-acceptance. Shalini's work is it's a reflection of her own journey shared with those ready to create real sustainable change and lasting transformation. So let's talk about embracing wholeness, the healing journey through the mind, the body, and the spirit. Please welcome Shalini Iyengar. And please correct my name, your first name again. You want to say that for the audience to make sure that they have it right, even if I don't.
Hi, Lisa. Yes,
Hi.
it's Shalini Iyengar.
Shalini. I don't know why I have it written and it's like Shalini. No,
I mean,
Shalini,
it's like
correct?
tortellini and linguini.
Perfect, Shalini. So, and it's such a beautiful name. I hate that I always that I make those mistakes with people's names because it's the most precious sound that we can have. So, but I appreciate you being here and thank you so much. I'm curious what inspired you to pursue a career in acupuncture, and was that first in the order of things? Because sometimes we go in a different direction and then we find what really lands with us. But what was the inspiration behind this journey that you've been on to become a holistic health practitioner?
Well, I would say that the journey started basically when I was a little kid.
Oh,
I used to sit on my uncle's lap while he would meditate. He is now a monk at an ashram in India, the Ramakrishna Mission. So I was 2, 3, and I was exposed to meditation and prayer from such a young age. So it's already been ingrained in that system because, from 0 to 7 is when these habits and behaviors are ingrained in kids.
yeah.
So from then on, somehow I always knew I wanted to be a doctor. And the way that it started was actually with physical therapy. My dad was in a really bad car accident, and I used to take him to physical therapy, and I saw firsthand the change that he was experiencing through rehab. And my mind was blown. And so that really decided my career path. And I knew that acupuncture or Ayurveda or homeopathic medicine, all of that would come after. But I really wanted to get a strong, solid foundation in, I guess, basic sciences, Western sciences, before delving into the other realm.
Okay. Yeah. I find that many healers, people who are in the wellness field, it's out of an experience. Like they have a sick brother, in your case, your father. In my case, it was a husband who was ill. And yeah, so that's it's always interesting. There's that piece that seems to connect folks, that draws our heart into serving those people when we have those experiences. Can you share a transformative experience that maybe highlighted the power of integrating acupuncture specifically with trauma therapy and mindset coaching, tying all three of those modalities that you do, tie them together? Is there an experience? I know you get to work with your father, but later in life, as you've pulled in all of this other training, how do you tie it together?
Such a great question. And I mean, I've had little blips where I have seen how everything is connected, but on a day-to-day basis, you kind of forget. So I guess a transformative moment would be my own.
Ah,
Yeah, it would be my own because if you look at the timeline, the trajectory that I've walked, it's been basically from this physical earth matter, the body,
mhm.
diving from the body and then going deeper and deeper and deeper to the deeper layers. So from physical therapy and then to acupuncture, which is energy medicine, it combines physical, but it also combines the energetic layer. And then from there, diving into the mental and emotional aspect when it comes to beliefs and thought systems. So I guess following that trajectory, my transformation um, has has been the one that really pops out because there's been so much trauma throughout childhood, and I don't mean like big crazy trauma. It's all these micro traumas that we all experience being humans on Earth. And when you have that working in the background, just like all the apps that are open on your phone, it's taking up your battery power. It's taking up a lot of space and a lot of energy from your life force. And so once you start closing all those or rewriting them, and I'm talking about trauma, you realize you get closer and closer to your core. And that's been the evolution of my journey. So you start at the surface level and you see, what you see is what you get. And then as you go deeper through the layers, you get down to the core of, okay, wait, why am I actually here? What is the purpose? What is my mission? Uh, so it started with physical therapy, but now it's more, I'm here to be me. I'm here to enjoy life and experience all the things that bring me joy. And being the invitation for other people to do the same, because we get to enjoy our lives here on earth. It's just like a blink of an eye that we're here. So, you know, that's really the message that I want to that I want to share with people is do what lights you up, do what brings you the most joy, and you'll start seeing things shift no matter what. So
Close those
that,
apps. Yeah, I love that analogy where you say close those apps to get your energy back. Because when our energy is being sucked and depleted out of our body, out of our temples, it's really hard to do what you love and what brings you joy because you're exhausted all the time and you just need rest and you're just coping to get through the days. So as you start to close those apps, if you will, close those traumas, discover them, release them from your cells, release them from
yeah,
your body, you become a new person. You become energized and full of grace and gratitude and love and joy for life. There's a concept that you talk about called psychosomatic awareness. Now, I would love it if you could explain that in layman's terms so we understand what does that mean and why is that a crucial part of the healing process?
okay. So it's actually very simple. Psycho, psycho has to do with the brain. So it relates to psychology. So anything that has to do with your mental patterns, your belief systems, basically the way that your mind works. Are you a worrier? Are you an overthinker? Do you think of the worst case scenario all the time? It really taps into the state of your psyche. So that's the psycho part of this word. And then somatic, soma is the body. So you're basically integrating psychology and the somatic aspect of your body. So it's body and mind. So psychosomatic awareness is tapping into this larger picture of who am I? How is my brain working? What are my thoughts? Becoming aware of your thoughts and then seeing the connection that it has with your body. So when you think of a thought, for example, you're standing in line at the DMV and you are really I know that's the first example that came up. You're standing in line at the DMV and you're just looking at your clock, your watch, and you're thinking, how long is this taking? I mean, this is taking forever. And you just start going into that mental uh that mental chaos of, okay, I have this and this and this and this to do today. I'm not going to get it done. It's basically a downward spiral, and it's all created by your thoughts. And now, if we were just our minds, great. But the thing is, we have a body attached to our minds, to our brains. So what happens is when you're thinking those thoughts, you start noticing sensations in your body. You start to panic. You start to get overwhelmed. You start feeling the stress in your shoulders. You start noticing you're clenching your jaw more, and you're like your fists, you're making fists with your hands. So those thoughts are creating a direct connection with your body, and your body is basically performing based on those thoughts. So
Yeah,
that's
it's
psychosomatic awareness.
yeah. That's not just a direct connection, it's a direct stressor, is what I'm hearing you say. Like our thoughts control whether we are experiencing joy and peace and relaxation in our body versus if we're experiencing stress in our body. I recently downloaded an app that has somatic exercises in there, and I've referred a couple of my clients to a physical therapist who does somatic exercises. And it's fascinating. Which comes first? Is it the thought to the body, or I find that some of the folks that I had referred were having difficulty. They had an issue with their gait and how they were walking after a long time in a wheelchair, but was able to heal and get out of the wheelchair. So, the somatic exercises try to release that trapped emotion and the trauma that's in the body.
Mhm.
So it's like, but the way that you're explaining it is it's the brain first. All of this emotions and the thoughts and the trauma, that it starts in the brain and then ends up in the body, and then we can work that out using somatic exercises. Do I have that right? Or can we get the stuff in the body and then we have to use the mind to help get it out? Is it interchangeable? Weird question,
It's
but
it makes sense. It's definitely
okay.
interchangeable. Um,
Okay.
so your example from someone who's had a traumatic injury and then has ended up in a wheelchair,
Yeah.
first of all, they have physical proof, physical evidence of a trauma that they've
Mhm.
experienced. So the natural inclination is, okay, let's work on the body. Let's create movement where there is a lack of movement. Let's increase range of motion, et cetera, et cetera. So
Mhm.
now what that is doing is it's going from the body up,
Yeah.
which also works because when you train your body, you're training your mind at the same time. So now to get the full picture is to also include psychosomatic therapy, to
Mhm.
include talk therapy, maybe some trauma release techniques like EMDR. Uh, so all of this, why? Because in the brain, you create stories, you create patterns. The reason I keep bringing up patterns is because there's a way that your nervous system is wired from a very, very young age. So if you grew up with parents who tell you you can't do something, if you grew up with teachers that mirror the same thing, like, oh, you're good for nothing, you can't do it. If that was the case for this person in the wheelchair, that is that's the programming that that person has to work with. So yes, you're working on the body and you're training those muscles and improving all of the things to help this person get up and out of the wheelchair. However, in the background, what is the program that's running? You can't do
Right.
it. You're going to fail. It's not going to work out. Why are you even going there? Don't even bother. Like, if that's running in the background, you can do as many things with the body and not get to where you really want to go. And a lot of
All
people,
connected.
it's
Yeah.
all connected. Yeah.
Hmm. Hmm.
So it's
So
important to
can,
go into that as well.
Yeah. Can that work? So I gave a physical example, but can that work for a mental example? Like somebody who may have depression or anxiety or panic or, more of a mental health wellness approach? Can that work the same? Because those things are happening in the brain, but they've got to be tied to the body somehow. But it's not necessarily we're not seeing necessarily a physical trauma like wheelchair or can't walk or those kinds of things. So how does that work? Where it's more of an emotional or a mental issue for somebody?
Well, you actually see more of that nowadays. You
Yeah,
know,
that's what I'm noticing. Yeah.
like it's that's the epidemic of today's world.
Yeah.
There's burnout, there's overwhelming stress, there's anxiety, there's depression. People that I don't even know what the statistics are, but so many people have anxiety and any like these kinds of mental disorders that yeah, it's becoming a collective thing. So
Hmm.
for people who are dealing with that, they would actually benefit from it the most
Oh,
because
interesting.
yeah, because you're basically dealing with what's going on up here, seeing the patterns that are running. So for someone with anxiety, why do they get anxiety? Where is it coming from?
Yeah.
Getting to the root cause of their patterns, that's going to be the first step. And then slowly unraveling why that exists, rewriting the narrative as well, and then making them stronger and more resilient to the inputs and triggers that they receive from the outside world. Because
Hmm.
anxiety is not being able to cope, not being able to deal, and being in an overwhelmed state most of the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like your body's on overdrive. And why
So
is
do
it
you
on
tie
overdrive?
in a physical piece to that then when you're working with the mind? Is there a physical component or a spiritual component that gets tied into the healing process of those mental experiences?
Absolutely. And
Okay.
that is the benefit of psychosomatic therapy because these people can go to a psychologist, they can go to a psychiatrist. So
Hmm.
psychologist, talk therapy, and depending
Hmm.
on the person, you will also get EMDR. You will
Hmm.
also get prescriptions, medication. It doesn't matter. So the reason I'm bringing this up is there's so much more to mental disorders than just seeing a psychologist or a psychotherapist or a psychiatrist. There's the
Yeah.
physical aspect. And so the benefit of psychosomatic therapy is that you're taking into account the physical sensations that come with the mental.
Beautifully said. Beautifully said. Yeah. So what are the common misconceptions about, let's say how we tie these together, the acupuncture, the um, holistic health, the different kinds of therapies? Are there some misconceptions? I mean, you have an amazing toolbox of things that you can draw from. So in the moment, you don't have to send somebody else to go see other people. You have a lot of tools. So if somebody gets stuck in a spot, you go a different direction. You have many roads to get to the core of what is happening with them. But are there common misconceptions about holistic health? When people hear that, it's not a medical doctor. It's not like, how can you help me? You're trained in all these, I'm going to use the word woo woo
Woo-woo.
sciences. So like, let's address some of those misconceptions because it's not woo woo science. This is, long been around for many, 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 many years, thousands of years. This type of modality has been around. It's modern medicine that is modern. It's new. It's a newer approach with pharmaceuticals and even physical therapy. There were physical therapists back in the day and working on the body as well as the mind. So let's go to those misconceptions. Sorry, I'm going to stop the question right there.
So one of the first misconceptions that I see all the time is it's not Western medicine. So how are you going to treat it? You know, the misconception is that Western medicine is the gold standard and holistic healing I don't even know where it ranks compared to Western medicine. That is the misconception. What people need to realize is, like you said, holistic healing has been around for thousands of years. It is the original medicine.
Mhm.
It provides a blueprint for us as humans to be able to live on Earth. And it doesn't include just the pharmaceuticals. It doesn't include just the invasive therapies. It includes holistic lifestyle. Holistic lifestyle, how do you say that? Um,
Like holistic living. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. It includes holistic living. Like, how do you live to survive on Earth? Those are the basics, those are the foundations. And the reason the misconception even exists is because people don't know what the basics are. So,
The water, the environment, getting outside and sun in your air, moving
sleep,
your body, breathing exercises to get oxygen into your cells. Like that's holistic living. And,
yes,
at least from where I come from, we do share that in common.
yes, we do.
Hmm.
So, holistic living are, like you said, are the basics, and
Yeah.
people don't even know what the basics are. So, yes, misconception is putting all the power in Western medicine and not even looking at the other options. Another misconception is that I go to the doctor, I get a prescription, I take it, and then whatever symptom I have goes away. Now, I go to a holistic health practitioner. They ask me all these unrelated questions, and they say it's not a one-time thing. Like, it's not a quick fix.
No.
So, misconception is, I would rather go for the quick fix because that's the culture that we're in, versus, hey, let's unravel what is going on with you. Let's see where all of it is coming from. Let's see how all domains of your life are being affected by this issue. And let's help you heal that step by step, which is a longer approach, but it is the more permanent approach. So
It's
the
the
mis
approach that brings you back to peace versus taking a quick
Band-Aid.
approach and having side effects from that because speed doesn't necessarily resolve
Yeah,
things.
it's quality over quantity.
Yeah. How do we incorporate, or how do you incorporate that transformative mindset? I hear a lot of coaches talk about transformation, transformative mindset, transformative coaching. What is that, and how does that fit into a wellness plan, a treatment plan, a wellness plan?
So remember in the beginning where I would talk about mental patterns and the ways that you think and belief systems. So we all have those based on how we were raised and all the experiences that we've had in life. So with transformative mindset coaching, you're basically utilizing what you have come, what you have been brought up with, and using it to your advantage. So basically creating a whole new way to see what you are, who you are, and then using that to your advantage. So it's a different perspective. You're basically putting on a different lens to view your issues. So an example would be someone comes in with like injuries that keep happening on the left side. Really, really odd example, but I just had someone come in with that exact issue. So they came in with knee pain, and then years ago they had shoulder pain, like all these things that were happening on the left side. So from a holistic lens, you're clearly seeing, wait, there's an imbalance. What is your right side doing too much of, or what is it not doing enough of, versus your left? And then in Chinese medicine, there's the right and left, yin and yang. One side is the father, one side is the mother, which is masculine and feminine. So it's all about bringing it back into balance and reframing. So transformative mindset coaching is reframing everything in your life so that it works for you. Because everything that happens to you which is the common misconception that, things are happening to me, being a victim. But in essence, it's actually things are always happening for you. They are alarm signals, they are wake-up calls, and they're creating an opportunity for you to heal and to be at peace. So that is transformative mindset coaching.
Yeah, I use that a lot. Things are happening for me. Things are happening for me. The other example that comes to mind, and by the way, that was me. It was left shoulder, left knee, left hip. Yeah. So but I wasn't the one that came in, folks. But it's funny that you pulled that example out as a reminder for me that, wow, we're getting into balance because all that stuff has disappeared, through acupuncture and EMDR and tapping and massage and all of those different holistic therapies coming together. I went one route and tried to get it fixed over here, with some medicine and anti-inflammatories and such. And that's not what actually worked. It was addressing the whole mind, body, spirit, and working in that realm of wellness therapy. The other example that comes to mind for me, it just popped the word, oh my gosh, now it's gone again. I was thinking about children who are left at home when mom and dad are working, and they have to fend for themselves after school. Maybe they have to make their own food and, be self-motivated and get their homework done. And I had a client who was sharing that with me, and it was like, that happened to me, and it was such a bad thing. And then as we started to reframe it, it came around to, well, I'm resilient. I am resourceful because I had to figure it out on my own. I am great at puzzles. So when you say things are working for me, that's exactly what happened once we reframed it in her mindset that, you weren't left alone and abandoned and, look, all the negative, I can't even think of the negative experiences that came from that feeling, what she had built up in her head as negative experiences. But when we started to actually break it down, and, I loved your example of closing the apps, but I use peel the onion. Like we peeled the onion one layer at a time. It was like, this is what you're currently feeling, but let's get to the core of it. Let's get to the core of what it is that experience was all about. And when she was able to get into that mindset of, yes, I am resilient and I'm resourceful and I'm a puzzle, I can fix puzzles, I can figure things out because I had to do it. And that was the gift, the blessing that came out of that experience. So beautiful. That's a beautiful way to tie it, all of that mind, body, and spirit together. So I'm going to throw this one out. What role does radical self-acceptance play, in your clients' journeys? Do you teach that? There's a great podcast about radical acceptance, self-acceptance, and I listened to it for a long time. Name of the host on that is escaping me at the moment, but I love that you work with radical self-acceptance, that's part of your modality. So can you maybe share how you facilitate that process with your clients?
I mean, just you saying radical self-acceptance just lights all these things up in my body, because it's accepting all parts of you, accepting that you are a whole human being in this moment, in every moment, and that it's always there. It's always there for you to like beep, tap into. So when someone comes to me and they are basically, we're doing the intake and they're sharing what's going on, once they are on the table and we're starting, one thing I say pretty often is call all parts of you home. And most people have never heard that, but somehow they know exactly what to do. Call all parts of you home right now. All versions of you, the ones that you have ignored, the ones that you don't like, the ones that you think are ugly, the ones that you've pushed away and neglected, the ones that you love and that you show the world, the ones that need validation, all parts of you, just call them all home right now into your body. And so that's radical self-acceptance, is being able to face the parts of you that you dislike, that society has deemed unfit for love, You know, the
Yeah.
parts of you that are not enough, the parts of you that are unlovable. You know,
Mhm.
we tend to show only the parts of us that we like and that receive validation from the external world. But holistic health, holistic healing is creating this bubble of safety and security and love for all those parts of us. And that container is radical self-acceptance. Is no matter what, being able to have compassion for that version of you that did that thing and saying, you know what, it's okay. I love you. I'm really sorry you had to go through that. Forgive me for not being there, or forgive me for not guiding you in the ways that you needed at that time. But I love you and thank you. So it's it's such pure, potent medicine, because when you can face all those parts of you that you shield and keep protected, it's getting into vulnerability, everything just opens up. You reach that core essence of you so fast.
That's where authenticity comes. We hear that word a lot these days, like, oh, I want to talk to somebody who's authentic. Because I think we all have that secret inside that we're afraid to let out. And it's not until we can get into vulnerability and get into that place of calling all of our parts home and facing them and saying, this is all of me, this is who I am. When we hide those pieces, we don't come across as authentic. People know it too. It's interesting. It's they don't see it with their eyes, they see it with their intuition. If somebody's not intentionally lying or intentionally misrepresenting, but hiding, when they have this hidden secret of whatever it is, good, bad, indifferent pieces that they've blocked away, or built a wall around that they don't let others see. I know I've done it, and it took a
Mhm.
long time to be able to bring some of that stuff up, because you
Yeah.
think something's wrong with you, that you're broken in some way. But when you actually put it out there and you can look at it from a place of love and peace, it's not brokenness. It's wholeness. And that's where this conversation came from. We were talking about embracing wholeness as part of your healing journey, calling all of those pieces back, those pieces of you that you've left with others, that energy that you've shut away or stuck on a shelf. Bring it all back. I thought of the name. It's Tara Brach. Tara Brach has a podcast, and she talks about radical self-acceptance. So that's another place to tune into this concept and this idea. A couple more questions. We're wrapping up here, but can you share some daily practices or rituals, things that people might be able to do at home or think about doing at home, that help support psychosomatic awareness and their overall well-being?
Mm. Yeah, I mean, there's so many that come to mind, and then my goal is to keep it as simple as possible so
Yeah.
that it's not an overwhelming thing to add to the list of, oh, now see, I need to do this as well. So
Yeah.
I would I would start very small and simple. The first thing would be when you open your eyes in the morning, just putting a hand on your chest and literally just feel. Take some deep breaths in and feel. What do you feel on your chest? How does your hand feel resting against your skin? Do you notice the rise and the fall of your chest? Do you notice the beating of your heart underneath your hand? It's really tuning into the body in that moment before you do anything else, before getting out of the bed, before reaching for your phone. It's making that connection with, oh, hi, good morning, Shalini. How are you doing today? I love you. And even if you don't feel the love, because there's that's reality. A lot of us don't feel love for ourselves, and that's the epidemic that creates that anxiety, creates that depression, because we're disconnected. So even if you don't feel it, all you need to do is just breathe into your hand. Wow, I'm alive. I'm alive. I have a second chance. I have a new chance at creating something for myself. And then being in that wonder. That's the first thing that I would suggest. And second thing would be notice when your emotions come up. So if you're in a situation where you notice a physical sensation in your body, like, oh, I'm getting really angry, and you start clenching your teeth and you're in traffic and someone just cuts you off. I mean, you're driving, so yeah, you can't just pause, but being aware, into a moment of awareness and just noticing, wow, I got angry. And noticing that your jaw starts to tighten and you're clenching your teeth and you just want to like punch someone, being able to be with emotions is basically the trick, and slowing down. So yeah, I guess I don't know how practical that is, Lisa.
It is really practical. I don't like being upset in a car. I was in a car accident when I was really young, and there was a lot of trauma around that. And so for a long time, it was hard for me to get in a car. And now when I do, if somebody's racing or cutting me off, it was like, oh, make sure they're safe, God. I'll say a prayer for them as they go by me. I don't get agitated in traffic. I'm like, oh, this is a moment of pause. I like going slow because I don't need to see the world whizzing by me at 70 miles an hour. This is wonderful that I get to take my time, and I know that I'll arrive in divine time and I'll get there exactly when I'm supposed to be there, safely and securely. Like I have those thoughts and thinking those things. And when somebody does cut me off, it's like, oh, may your family be healthy and blessed, because maybe they're rushing to the hospital. We don't know. We don't know why people are driving that way. Or, gosh, I hope you don't lose your job today. I hope that all is well at work if it's during morning rush hour traffic. So I have all those little things that I can just call from rather than letting outside influences affect my peace. I can put my peace into them and maybe they'll have a better day because of it. So I think 100%, I love exactly the two that you chose. And waking up in the morning, choosing to breathe, doing a series of deep breaths and breathing them in and holding that oxygen, that life in yourself, and just knowing I get to another day to breathe, another day. Who can I love today? Who can I impact today? What can I do in the world today that will make a difference? Even if it's just with the neighbor kids or playing catch with your nephew, or there's like, you have another day. So there's always reasons to be grateful when we get to wake up the next day. So I thought you
There's
picked
something,
perfect. The two you picked were perfect.
thank you. Well,
Uh-huh.
as you were speaking, I realized, well, another way to just create an actionable step when you're feeling an emotion is to go back to the thing that you started with, like putting your hand on your chest and just noticing sensation. Because what happens when you feel an emotion, it's like a whoosh, a wave that overwhelms you and wants to throw you over and kick you under. So over under, all you need to do is just be present with, oh wait, I am here. Take a deep breath in, and whatever's happening, whatever situation you're in, if you can just pause for that moment, take a minute, because you deserve that minute. You deserve sanity, you deserve peace, you deserve your love. So take a minute, feel again, and connect with your body.
Beautifully said. You wrapped it up nicely. Looking forward, how do you see the field of holistic health evolving, and what role are you going to play in that?
Mm. You know, Lisa, I'm someone who keeps it simple. Um, this is something I've been doing for so long, and I've noticed that with everyone else shifting and changing and doing all the things and creating, bringing in all the trends, and what I've noticed that works for me is staying consistent, creating habits that sustain me, that, you know, create a foundation that I can always fall back on. So it's consistency, it's sustainability, and keeping it simple. So slow and steady growth is what I describe. So now with all the talk about AI, I've been hearing so many people using ChatGPT as a therapy tool. Have you heard that?
No, I've actually tuned into a few workshops about that. I'll be honest.
I
It's
mean,
fascinating.
that's exactly, it blows my mind because you're literally creating a best friend through AI that you can literally ask all kinds of questions to, and you will get the responses that are tailored to you. So, I mean, how awesome is it that everyone is walking around with a phone that you can literally tap into when you're going through something? So that I see as a pretty awesome development in technology for this realm for holistic living and mental health and wellness. However, I'm a sucker for all things ancient.
Mhm.
I
And the
mean,
touch, talking to
mhm.
by the way, my chat GPT's name is Clara Hart. So she gives me clarity from the heart. That's why her name is Clara Hart. So I talk to her, hey Clara, this is what I need today. So but you still need the physical.
Mhm.
I am a nomad. I live in Airbnbs. I'm online a lot. And I used to do 7 or 8 um live in-person networking meetings, having a chance to shake someone's hand, seeing an old friend and giving them a hug. Now I'm bouncing around from city to city or country to country and here and I live here. And it's hard to find strangers who want to hug you. They think you're a weirdo. But so you still need that integration. You still need to have the human piece of it. So it scares me that people are going that direction in AI. I think it's great. It's a tool that we have. And we need to use it as a tool, just what it is, a tool. It is not replacing the human touch. It's not replacing the human action, the conversation. Because ChatGPT can only answer the prompts we give it. Humans can hear between the lines also and give us different perspectives in a different way. And I think we need to not lose touch of that human interaction.
We are humans after all. We are not technology yet. Who knows if that's going to happen in a few years, but we are literally like these carbon-based physical beings, and we still have hormones. We still have oxytocin that gets produced in our system when we have a hug from someone that we love, or even a stranger. Like there's so much research that's been done that hugging a stranger also releases the same hormones. So it doesn't matter who you're hugging or who you're talking to or who you're touching. It can be a pet, a stranger, whatever. It doesn't matter. But I love that you brought it back to touch because that's the human experience that we cannot get from AI.
Yeah. So tell us about, I know that you're looking to collaborate with some folks around the world, bringing people to your neck of the woods. I want you to talk about that for a minute, like talk about retreats and collaborating and bringing people to you, and then we'll wrap this up.
Awesome. So just like seeing clients here one-on-one, I noticed that there's this deep, like fiery urge to expand and be able to offer this in group settings. I've done a lot of group work and it's been successful. And I see that there's an added level that is created when you're with others experiencing a similar journey. So, like-minded folks, being in a safe container where you can be vulnerable, where you can share what's coming up and be held and heard and seen and acknowledged, that's that's just priceless. And I do see myself moving into that direction, collaborating with people who can supplement and complement what I do because I know I can't do it alone. And it's about being part of a team. It's about being with people who can support your initiative and you support theirs at the same time. So retreats are something that I've been wanting to do for years. So that's in the books for this year.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So if you're listening and you're a health and wellness coach or somebody who has thought about doing a retreat but didn't want to coordinate it all with you, all by yourself, I mean,
Mhm.
if you're looking to collaborate with other wellness folks and you would like to go to Curacao where's that at again? It's right off the coast of Venezuela. Give people
Mhm.
perspective of where they can find you.
Yeah, so like the upper border of South America, the piece that is the highest is Venezuela. And there are three islands, part of the Dutch Caribbean, and the island that I'm on is Curacao. And Curacao is considered a wellness destination, and the land here is absolutely breathtaking, magical, and absolutely healing. So,
And I've been there, so I can speak to that. Yes, it is. Yes,
yeah.
yes, it is. So if you want to bring your team, if you have just a group of ladies that you
Mhm.
would like to go have a wellness experience, retreat, vacation, I encourage you to actually reach out and get that scheduled. Have the conversation to see if there's something that you can put together with Shalini. She would be checking out
Absolutely.
an item off of her 2025 bucket list, heart-centered bucket list that she would like to experience. And there may be an opportunity for you guys to collaborate. So think about it and reach out to her. All of her contact information is in the notes for the show. And come on back next week. Thanks for sticking with us, for sticking around, listening in. And Shalini, thank you so much for being with me. This has been an amazing
Yeah.
conversation and a wonderful journey.
Thank you, Lisa,
You're
for
welcome.
for setting this up and for having me on your show.
My
I really
pleasure. My
enjoyed it.
pleasure. If you guys need any help building your business, I'm actually launching a social media build your brand 30-day course. It starts today, so you missed this one, but we'll have another one. But reach out and let me know that you're interested in doing something like that for your business. If you're an entrepreneur in the wellness field, we'd like to see more of you online. We'd like to see you connect with more people. The people of the world need you, need your services. And if I can be a part of that journey for you and help you get started, feel free to go to my website at lisamosby.com and book an appointment with me, book a time with me to chat about it. Shalini, where can people find you?
Currently, I have Instagram, so they can find me through Instagram. I have two handles, which are Herbology Lifestyle and Yogini Uncovered. So
Beautiful.
just send me a message through there, and obviously through email.
And that information will again be in the show notes to connect with her. All right, everybody, make it a great week and come on back. We'd love to see you.